Hey there, so I want to talk to you about your literature review peer review. This video could probably be more aptly named as what your literature review peer review can do for you if you use all of its benefits, but that's a little bit long, so we won't go there. But what the important thing about this is that, one, you give yourself plenty of time. To use the peer review to understand what your peers are saying and to utilize that in your revision. So I'd recommend peer reviews due on Tuesday, so I would recommend, looking at it by either Wednesday or Thursday at the latest, right? Because then you still have a couple of days to internalize, to revise, that kind of stuff. So it's really important that we remember that writing is never, never, never finished. Right? We can always revise. In fact, I'm revising an essay that I wrote like 6 years ago, and I've revised it like 12 times already. Like, I just keep giving myself time, thinking about it again, thinking about how to reframe things differently. All right, so if you give yourself the space, your writing will grow and will get more refined with each revision that you do. All right, so that is a little plug right there. So to say that I've been revising something for 6 years is not to say that I'm a poor writer. It's to say that I can be consistently working and revising everything, make things sharper each time. And then by the time I'm finally absolutely done with it, it's going to be fabulous, right? So that's what you want to do for your peer review, with your peer review, but on a shorter scale. So the benefits of peer review are a few, right? There's definitely a couple. One, you have learned a little bit more about the assignment, hopefully. The second is that your peers should be asking questions or making suggestions to you that will help you develop your ideas further, right? And your ideas meaning the evidence that you're choosing, making sure it's showing the connections clearly. And then also the overall organization of your literature review draft, right? How to think about that and maybe tweak it to make it make more sense. Does every piece of information in my paragraph relate to my topic sentence, or have I gone astray, right? That kind of thing. Things that our brains individually as writers might not recognize because we know what we mean, but a reader may not. And since we're writing for readers, we need to make sure that we are tailoring our ideas toward them. Now, of course, this is meant as a tool, again, to help you build for your literary research essay, but we also need to make sure that once we remove ourselves from the literature review sphere, that we still can understand what we're talking about and what we're identifying. So the clearer you make your writing here, the better you will be set up, right, for the literary research essay. So take any questions that people ask under advisement, right? Think about them. Don't just say, oh, that's too hard. I don't have the time, right? Because you've given yourself the time, fingers crossed. All right, so make sure that you are utilizing this time well. Take statements and say, okay, well, let me reread this again with a new set of eyes. It's been a few days since you've written it. Your eyes are new. Your brain is not as attached to your writing. So be like, oh, someone said they couldn't find my thesis or my thesis wasn't clear. Well, let me look back through and see if I can find it. Something like that, right? A missing thesis or an unclear thesis is a huge red flag. You need to go and address that, right? Something that is about organization, that's a big red flag. You need to address that. Something about evidence, big red flag, need to address it. Right? So keep those things in mind because this is about enhancing the core ideas of your literature review. Give your peer review time to sink into your brain so that you've now removed yourself emotionally from your writing. That might sound weird, but it's a thing, I promise. And then dive back into it with a new set of eyes and less of a connection to this is perfect. I love it, right? Because nothing is perfect. There is no perfect writing out there anywhere. So I really want you to keep these things in mind as you're going through revision, looking at your peer review. Make sure to also look at the peer review questions. They're tailored to help with evidence, assignment requirements, organization. If the responses to the questions signal anything to you, if someone says something is unclear or something could be refined further, definitely take a look at that. All right, so use your peers' comments, use my comments, and take them under advisement for the literature review more generally. All right, thanks so much, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. See you next time.